Simple description of the message is that as I studied few weeks ago, talking about the long story, the struggle that we had. Some of my friends, colleagues, and comrades uh, are far away. We are scattered all over. But this is the world where you have to make uh, the situation known. People sometimes just know you by name, but don't really know the struggles you had and what you have gone through. So many people are asking questions. What took you so long until now? It's because of the situation of the world is not always feasible for someone to concentrate on important matters that need to be done at a time, especially when you are one person who is engaged in so many responsibilities. Therefore, at this juncture, I would like to continue to just give a brief summary of why this story is significant, why it is important for me and my comrades, my friends, whom we had a very difficult time together. But for someone here today talking about the story that began uh, many years ago, it is a privilege rather to be able to sit here and to talk about this story. Therefore, this story is not just about myself. This story is about those who are not even present here today. And for myself here, the reason why I said it is a privilege is because I am one of few remnants of those lost generations who are lucky to be here today. For this reason, it is indeed a privilege, and one should take time to give gratitude and appreciation to the one who made it possible for me to be here today. And that is God. Has God not saved some of us, our story indeed would have vanished. No one would have been able to tell our stories. Just as the topic is. That's why this story is so significant. Looking back and remember how many of us were in those groups during those difficult times. Those faces are still vivid in our eyes and memory because we went through a lot together. And those who are still living today, some of them are serving their fellow human beings in our motherland, and they know themselves. But until someone who is living in a far distant land remember them and appreciate their service, also not them alone, but those who have gone before us, then they would not even be able to know and remember what they had gone through before, because we are lost in between the two major situations. Our struggle as a civil war, which got most of us at young age to go into the bush, and having gained the independence of our country, the devil did not allow us to have peace. For indeed, at the time, we were hoping to have lasting peace so that those who have gone far away would be able to come back home and rebuild their motherland. We are not the first people who have been scattered across the world. Many peoples have gone through experience just like we had, but the time came for them to have a recollection and were able to go back to their home where they can live a life that is blessed, protected, and the hope for the next generation can only be achieved by not repeating the same problems again. But unfortunately, we are still at war, and the war we are at has become so personal that communities are so divided across the land and even internationally. This reason is one factor that caused me to think twice. Should I speak up on these matters, on the struggles that we had and the life we lost? Or should I just sit back and watch people dancing? It is rather fulfilling for someone who had gone through situations, tough times, to take time to remember and to document something, not necessarily for myself, not even for my colleagues and comrades whom I hold dearly, but also for the next generation, for those who came after us and those who will come after them, so we can have a history, a history that is not lost, just like the dance was given the lost boys. We were comrades in arms. At young age, yes, most of us managed to go to the training camps. And at that time, it was not welcome by the chairman, but he had organized groups of intellectuals to be able to attend and to serve these groups, which were known the seeds of tomorrow. Later on, there was a name given as Jij al-Ahmar to signify our comrade in arms as reserve, since the struggle was long. When you have uncertainty of what may happen to you, you have to prepare for the uncertainties if you are a wise leader. And that what they did. They were preparing us not just for war, but also for the rebuilding of the new Sudan. The high hope for the new Sudan was the new generation that was being prepared by all means. Whether you were trained like we did, whether you were put in school like some of us did, it was the same preparation for that future. So this is significant, it is important. So the presentation of who would have told my story, in fact, it is our story. And with this, I just want to acknowledge the presence of my friends and colleagues and comrades around the world today. Even though we are few, we are still blessed, and it is our mission. It is an obligation that must be fulfilled. For there was no other than this that God was able to save us. Just a little bit. Tidana. So it was this reason that we had that chance. So I want to acknowledge the presence of all of you there, and would also welcome any comments and other questions that some of you may have. And this is just the beginning. More will come. Explanation in details will come.